This race is official. Here's Jeb Burton inside lane. 27 trying to take the lead.
He tried to cover Jeb there, but he was too late. Jeb Burton put it beside him and is now controlling that middle and bottom lane.
Yeah, and we're going to see Jesse Love. Can he make it 4 wide, 3 laps in a row as they get down to turns 3 and 4? Austin Hill gives him a big push.
Oh, there goes the 88 of Connor Zilic, 3 wide out front. We stay green for now. There's the caution. And who was leading when the caution came out? They were 3 wide. This will take a while to sort out. So time of caution, the timestamp 17:20:49. So that is the moment that NASCAR is captured. Now you have to determine who is leading at the exact time of caution.
21, 27, then the 2. 21, 27, then the 2. Bring the 21 to the start-finish line for the burnout interview.
It was the Xfinity Series race at Talladega in 2024 when Austin Hill would pick up his first ever Superspeedway win at that track. But it wasn't without controversy. Down the backstretch, Jesse Love would get into Connor Zilic, sending Zilic hard into the inside wall. NASCAR would throw the caution, effectively ending the race. They had a 3 wide pass for the win, and it ended under caution. Unfortunately for NASCAR fans, they weren't able to watch Austin Hill. Jesse Love and Jeb Burton battled it out for the win, as because the race ended under yellow.
Green flag back in the air. Overtime, sponsored by Credit One Bank, is underway. Great restart for the 5 of Casey Kane. Can he hold it on the bottom of the track? Kane gets by him. Smoke rolling out behind the 11. Casey Kane in front of the 2 of Brad Keselowski. They go down the backstretch. Still smoke coming out of the 11. He gets up the racetrack. And the 11 goes around. They wreck behind him. Did they get to the overtime line? They haven't got there yet. Has the caution come out yet? Now the caution comes out. The question will be, did the caution come out after he crossed the overtime line? Casey Kane was there before the caution came out. Casey Kane will win the Brickyard 400.
By far, one of the stupidest rules that NASCAR ever created was the overtime line. Effectively, if the leader passed this line with 2 laps to go, the race would end. This was after some big superspeedway controversy. And after this race that ended so terribly, NASCAR would actually get rid of this overtime line in the middle of the season. And Casey Kane was able to pick up this one in Indianapolis, but unfortunately, it could have been an even better finish.
Joey Logano through 3 and 4 for the final time. There's the contact. He does get to him. The 11 on the inside. He gets into the wall. Dillon's going to win it at the line.
Pop proud of you, buddy.
If there's ever a moment in NASCAR that claims to have the biggest chicken move ever, it's between Austin Dillon, Joey Logano, and Denny Hamlin at Richmond in 2024. Austin Dillon, who was on a long losing streak, was trying to win to make the playoffs. Yeah, that seems pretty fair, right? Just win. But what Austin Dillon did was going over the line, and he went over the line way too much. He intentionally crashed Joey Logano entering turn number 3. Then, when he got loose, when he hit Logano, Hamlin went to his inside to take the lead and take the win away. When Austin Dillon noticed this, he turned down the racetrack, hit Hamlin, and hit him in the wall so hard that NASCAR had to bring the caution out. This was one of the biggest hits of Denny Hamlin's career, and this just proves why NASCAR took the win from Austin Dillon away, because it was extremely unfair.
And there you go. It's going to be whoever gets there first with that push on the outside. And Hocevar to the
Caution. Caution is out.
Crashing into turn number 3.
Who was in the lead? Hocevar was right there between Larson, Bell, Hocevar. Which one is it, guys?
Josh Berry is all piled up, so nothing is yet official. Let's have a look here at the moment that caution light comes on.
Ooh, I think it's, from what I can see, guys, Christopher Bell. No wonder they're celebrating.
So NASCAR has our video, their own cameras around the track, their own optical scanning system.
This is painful to watch. NASCAR had just had the Daytona 500 a week prior, and they had a huge crash in the back straightaway and didn't throw a caution. When they were 3 wide for the lead heading into turn number 3, a few cars tussled in the back and crashed. NASCAR would throw the caution when they were 3 wide for the lead just like the year prior, but this time we weren't able to see that epic 3-wide finish that we all wanted so desperately. Atlanta's become one of the best tracks in the NASCAR schedule, and we were robbed of an amazing finish for a second straight year.
Corey Haim's already been run into once.
Corey Haim tried to protect. He got into turn 3 way too deep. Loose.
Oh, sideways.
White flag is in the air.
Slide job.
Lap of this
Slide
race.
job.
Lane Riggs into Corey Haim.
Corey Haim
goes around. It's battle of the teammates to the finish line. Who's it going to be? Chandler Smith with the advantage over Lane Riggs. Lane Riggs sideways. Checkered flag in the air.
Caution flag.
Chandler Smith. What a last lap.
Another disappointing finish that ended under caution. This finish could have been a little bit better, but unfortunately, it had to have been ended under caution. It was the Truck Series race in North Wilkesboro when Lane Riggs and Corey Haim would make contact. Haim would go around in the back straightaway, and they actually didn't throw the caution. Haim would spin out and would get hit by Rajah Caruth. NASCAR would wait even more time and then throw the caution right as Lane Riggs was startling up to get to Chandler Smith. So no matter what would have happened, Chandler Smith still would have won, but unfortunately, we could have just waited to let this race play to the end. NASCAR didn't.
And there goes Kurt Busch in the 2-car with him, pushing him. They're going to trap McMurray in the 26 on the high side.
Boy, I'll say, look at them fan out. High, low. Somebody help me. Oh.
There goes Stewart, the 20 to the high side with no help. They're 3 wide off turn 2.
Boys, trouble. It's over.
There's the caution. There is the caution right there. Only one attempt at this green-white checker.
And Stewart has crashed. While everyone lifted for the caution flag, Tony Stewart ended up in the wall. But as the caution flew, a lot of people checked up.
By far, in my opinion, one of the dumbest rules that we ever had in NASCAR was one overtime attempt. I don't care who you are, but in my opinion, you should always want to be able to watch a race that would finish under the green flag condition. But unfortunately, back then, we didn't have that rule. So there was some idiots in the back of the pack that crashed and brought out the caution. This was a deserving caution. It should have been a caution. But unfortunately, it would end the race. You were not even able to take the white flag under green. So finishes like this were extremely disappointing, disheartening to watch. It felt like we were robbed week in and week out every time we went to super speedway racing, and this happened.
Harvick inside of Pruitt for 4th place. Pruitt shuts the door on him. Harvick hits him back, and he gets Fellows. Big pile up down in turn 2. Brad Coleman involved, Ron Hornaday involved, and up front, Robbie Gordon by Ambrose, who goes back on him. Caution flags waving.
Well, we'll wonder what the loops are with this thing. Boy, we didn't see the pass, but it looks like the back of Ambrose's car, the right rear corner.
By far, one of the most controversial races that ended in a disappointing way was the 2007 inaugural race at Montreal, Canada. Robbie Gordon would get turned under caution by Marcus Ambrose. He was told he didn't maintain speed under caution and was forfeiting his positions. But he didn't. He stayed in 2nd place and restarted. And when he restarted the race, he got into the back of Marcus Ambrose, spun him out, and never served his black flag penalty. He would essentially be disqualified, even though he technically crossed the line first.
Just about getting dark here. They're really going to have just enough time, just enough vision to get this race over.
Thank you, Joe.
Well, due to the darkness, they're saying they are not going to They're not going to restart this race because of the darkness on the racetrack here, and it is going to finish as promised on lap 210. That's why you see these guys down there in the Roush Fenway pits celebrating.
Everything looks very dark looking from a driver's perspective, so congratulations to Greg Biffle, huh?
Looks like the Aflac Ducks going to get a checker here.
Greg Biffle, 37-year-old driver, had gone 28 races. His last win was at Homestead at the end of finale of 2006.
Right there, check a flag.
And Biffle takes the win at Kansas Speedway in what was an unbelievably long day, but he doesn't care. Right now, he is a winner in 2007.
The start-finish line the last time, though, I know you and the 07 were sort of interested in whether or not the 16 might be the victor. Yeah, he was clearly out of gas. I feel terrible for Greg. He's been working so hard to win a race and is up there in position to win it. But if you don't maintain pace car speed, you don't hold your position. And it was clear to everyone that he couldn't do it. If he could have, he would have stayed on the bumper of the pace car to the finish line. So, in my opinion, where he coasted across the finish line relative to the other cars that could maintain pit road speed is where he should finish.
And therefore, that would put you second instead of third because the 07 was ahead of you.
It would. I'm all about me right now. I know it put me second.
Hey, but it's more points.
It is more points.
Kevin Harvick.
But look at the outside line. Jamie McMurray in the 42 car. Michael Waltrip in the 15. He's fighting his way back up.
Gordon inches ahead.
Right there is where Junior is so strong. Sailing off into the
trouble.
turn.
One car around, and it's Brian Vickers.
All right, the caution is out, and we are past the red flag lap. We are past the red flag lap. But remember, the field was frozen when the caution flag came out.
And who at that moment was the leader? There is the spin.
And you saw he was about a half a car length ahead of Dale Earnhardt Jr. when Brian Vickers was completely sideways.
Back before we even had overtime, with 5 laps to go, Brian Vickers would spin in the middle of the pack. NASCAR throw the caution because they were wrecking. They had to throw the caution. But back then, when you didn't have overtime, you would just run the laps out under caution and end the race. So NASCAR had to go back to the previous scoring loop to find out that Jeff Gordon was the guy who was leading when the caution came out. They declared him the winner, and he had a raining storm of beer cans fly over him on the front stretch where he did his burnout.
We will have one attempt at a green-white checker finish. That is new. NASCAR made that announcement at the beginning of the week, letting drivers, teams know one attempt at a green-white checker. It was for safety purposes. And spins his tires. Green flag back in the air. Around goes to 48.
Crosses out.
And the caution is out. That will now determine who wins this race. That they're saying that's not an attempt. NASCAR's saying not an attempt.
As they enter the zone, the 22 Logano has trouble getting going, and then everybody behind him just stacked up.
There you see it, and the caution flag waves before they reach the start-finish line. Therefore, the race was never put under green flag condition, so this was not their first attempt.
So look at Jimmy Johnson trying to push Paul Menard. Paul Menard trying to push the 2 Keselowski. Here we come to the restart zone on the bottom of the racetrack. Everybody's starting to bunch up. Everybody wants to push each other. The 78 ended up pushing the 48 so hard he pushes him around, gets him spun out.
The green and then right to the yellow before they got to the start-finish line.
So I think Joey Logano was right that the green flag was waving, but NASCAR never said that the leaders never got across the start-finish line, so the green flag or the track was never put back in a green flag condition.
So we'll try again. Coming back into the NBC Sports restart zone, 220 feet. Green flag back in the air. The 4 not going. They wreck behind him. The green flag is out as they cross the start-finish line. Will they throw the caution? Trying to get back up to speed. Caution comes out. Now the question is, who was in front?
Stay in front of them. Stay in front of them.
This was by far the worst finish in NASCAR history. There's no way it can get any worse than this. NASCAR declares there's only one attempt at overtime, and when they fail at that, they decide, let's go again. So they change the rules on the spot. When they go back racing again, Kevin Harvick would hit Trevor Baynes, spinning him around, collecting the rest of the field, forcing NASCAR's hand to throw the caution and give the win to Joey Logano in a very controversial finish.
And it held Davey up just enough that Ricky Rudd was able to get to our rear bumper.
And Rudd is there. Clement Owens! Davey Allison is spun.
And I remember coming into turn 11, and I got to really go hard, so that was the one of the big passing points was in the brake zone coming into turn 11. So I basically came in there really hot, out of control, committed to going as deep as I could. And we touched, and Benny did sort of a half spin and got it gathered up, came right in behind me, came around, took the white flag.
But all of a sudden, Robert Yates, who monitored NASCAR, said they're not going to give Ricky Rudd the win. So tell Davey he's the leader of the race.
And Ricky Rudd is going waiting to receive the win of the Banquet Frozen Foods 300. Here he comes, waving to the pit crew as he passes by. The black flag is shown to Ricky Rudd. Rudd is shown the black flag. Davey Allison is shown the checkered flag.